Hello, hello, wherever you happen to be. So, good morning to those in the USA. And I think Carrie is intending to join us today. Good afternoon, just about, for us here in the UK and the rest of Europe. And good evening if you're over towards the Australias at all. So, welcome wherever you're joining from. It feels like it's been ages since I've been here doing lessons from the Lurker. I know I missed last week, but I have a sense I've missed more than 1 week. So I thought it was about time I showed up again. Although, as you might have noticed from the invitation, there was a bit of me that was wondering whether to even do this today, because I'm kind of out of sorts. I'm in an odd way. So I had to think long and hard about whether to come on and do this today. And then I realized actually that, we all have those days and there's no need for us to bear them on our own, to shoulder them on our own. And so I started looking at the reasons why I might be a bit out of sorts. And although Carrie isn't here with us yet, she'll be pleased to know that I had a quick look at my biorhythms, and sure enough, my emotional cycle, as it were, is right on that center line. So I seem to remember from her explanation that actually that's a tricky point. Whenever you cross that midline, that's a tricky point. And my emotional wave is right dead on that center line today. So that could be one reason. Another reason is that my hubby tested positive for COVID yesterday. So we've had to have a quick rethink of the week. I've been into the office and collected everything I need to be able to deliver my client work from my home office for the next week, just in case things happen, just in case, because we're obviously living in a relatively confined space, that I also good morning, Carrie, in case I also test positive at some stage. I was just saying, Carrie, you'll be pleased with me because I'm feeling a bit out of sorts. I went and had a look at my biorhythm, and my emotional curve is literally just crossing that line. So that could well be one of the reasons. Another reason here in the UK is, and can we ever from the UK not talk about weather? But we've had beautiful weather for the last few days, and then yesterday and today it's gone back to grey and cold. It's like dropped 10 degrees. Now it's not as cold as northern Minnesota cold, I'm aware of that, but it really is kind of, the wind it's coming from the north, and so that really brings a cold edge to the wind. So I'm not enjoying that at all. But there's more to it than that. There's much more to it than that. I feel like I'm in significant transition phase. There are some really exciting opportunities, and one of the opportunities I've made the decision on, and I'm taking up the opportunity. So you'll be hearing more about that, because that in essence is me going live every week for a much more significant period, not just a lessons from the Lurker. And it's a global opportunity. So that's really exciting. And what that's also done, and it's not just because of that, I realize I've got some difficult decisions to make. And as I say, it feels like I'm right on the cusp of the next chapter of my life, which is both exciting and scary, because it's, so thank you, Carrie. Carrie's, let me just pop that up. Carrie's saying that, she kind of feels that there's some significant transition stuff going on at the moment. So you too, right, Carrie? So I need to think things through, and me being processing the way I do need quiet time to do that, but I also need a solid sounding board to be able to bounce my ideas off so that I'm not operating in a vacuum. But then neither do I want an echo chamber where I'm just going to, hear my own thoughts back. What I want to do is have the thoughts land and somehow be processed and challenged and questioned. So one of my really good accountability buddies has stepped forward for that, which I'm truly grateful for. And as part of my own processing, my quiet processing, I know that what I need to do is a cost benefit analysis of the decisions I'm about to make. And it's tough. It's challenging, because when I say significant, I'm talking significant. I'm talking big changes here. So this is a really interesting period. And normally I'd have kept this completely to myself, and I'd have either not showed up here, I'd have done some lurking of my own, or I would have kind of pushed that to one side and thought, you don't need to be bothered by that. But then I thought, actually, so many people I'm talking to are talking about this feeling like a time where we're being challenged as the human race, with everything that's going on for us over in Eastern Europe, not too far away from us, which is pretty scary in some ways. And of course, we're seeing the refugees, as they actually are, from that war. And I am going to call it war because it's not just a military operation. And I don't often kind of talk politics, especially global politics, but I have quite strong feelings about this. And one of the things I realized is that this is where my quietly gutsy comes into play here. And quietly gutsy is one of my business principles, in that I won't necessarily make a big song and dance about things, but I will be a bit of a terrier and actually not let go of things. And if they need saying, I'll say them, albeit quietly, albeit calmly, but no less powerfully for that. And that's why I chose, I suppose, to come here and share with you that this is a really challenging time for me. And if you're experiencing a challenging time of your own, then don't feel that you need to go through that entirely on your own. Don't feel that you don't have anyone to bounce those ideas off. You're welcome to drop me a message or an email that says, I could do with kind of 30 minutes of your time just to bounce some ideas off wherever. Thank you, Carrie. My schedule is pretty full, but if I can find time for you, I absolutely will, because I am so committed to the work I'm doing here with you as introverts, and also with shifting the bias in and around education and business and society. And one of the things I've noticed is that we seem to have become quite reflective over this period of time. So it's something that naturally I feel we introverts are doing quite well, but there are extroverts who are becoming a bit more reflective, and it's quite alien to them. So I think there's also work that we can do with our extroverted friends, family, loved ones, colleagues, whoever it happens to be, to help them with their reflective process, because it's not necessarily something that they're used to. So yeah, this is interesting and exciting at the same time, and I'm really containing the excitement so that I don't get completely overwhelmed by it and I don't get swept up in the excitement, because the consequences and the decisions I need to make are quite serious, quite drastic's too big a word, but they are serious. So I need to make sure that I'm not just swept up in the excitement of the possibilities and what's coming in the future. So if you feel like you're on the cusp of the next chapter of your life, then drop a comment, either if you're here live, which I can see quite a few of you are now, so thank you for joining me, Or if you're watching on replay, hashtag replay. If you feel you're on the cusp of something, then do let us know, because there is also something very reassuring about knowing it's not just me. In the same way that I remember when I initially did that Myers-Briggs type indicator and found out I was an introvert, and for the first time realized there are other people like me. I'm not weird, I'm not broken in need of fixing. You know, there are other people like me. It's also really helpful for other people to know that, yep, there are other people who feel they're on the cusp of something too. So I really want to know more about this, Carrie. I've pulled way back in my beingness. I love the idea of beingness. So it sounds like you're in retreat, but in a positive sense, Carrie. Have I got that right? I'd love to hear your comment on that. So if you two are on the cusp of something, a big major life transition, or you're just feeling a bit discombobulated and don't know why, then potentially maybe you are on the cusp of something, and you know, it might be useful to share. Okay. In my beingness to the outside world, my personal beingness is high. Okay. Okay. Yeah, understand now, Carrie. Thank you for sharing that. It's helpful. So I, fingers crossed that husband's positive COVID test doesn't come my way. I'm doing a lot of kind of positive affirmations. I'm telling myself that my immune system is strong. I'm not going to get this. I'm also backing that up with a sachet that I take for 7 days called Immune Intensive. Look, here it is. It's not particularly nice, but actually it's one of those things that I think I'm going to do whatever I can. And I shall get out for a walk today, even though the weather isn't that great, but I figure the air will actually be good to blow through me. So thank you for joining me today. And remember, if you feel you're on the cusp of something or just a bit discombobulated, share with us. You don't have to share the detail, but just share that potentially you're feeling like that. And you know, we're here to support you. Certainly I'm here to support you. And I know the rest of Introverts Corner are as well. So have a good rest of your week, and I will look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. And next Tuesday is already April. Where has the year gone? Amazing. Anyway, thank you for joining me today.